Sorry.
Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. So, welcome to a special talk of the PhD program at YouTube. So, in this special occasion, we have Professor Paul Seedhouse with us. So, before we start the section, please welcome our Director, Associate Dr. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right, so let me welcome all the participants, in the audience, to our talk this morning. Okay, so it's an honor for us, to have with us, a distinguished speaker, okay, Professor Paul Seedhouse, from Newcastle University in the UK, right? And Professor Paul Seedhouse is going to give us a lot of information for this morning, about how to use the ENACT Web App, okay, to help students learn more about the language, the English language and culture. And so language and culture, language is culture, culture is language, they cannot be separate. And, we can learn about another culture so that, we can communicate interculturally more successfully and more effectively, right? So I believe that, Professor Paul Seedhouse lecture or talk this morning, will be very informative, insightful, okay? And I believe that, all the participants in the audience, will gain a lot of insight, and they can use, this free web app, right, for their classes, Thank you very much, Professor Paul Seedhouse, and, yeah, everyone, please enjoy and learn, from this talk.
ผมรู้สึกดีใจที่ได้กลับมากรุงเทพอีกครั้งรู้สึกเป็นเกียรติอย่างมากที่ได้รับเชิญให้มาเป็นวิทยากรในงานเซมินาวันนี้ที่มหาวิทยาลัยธรรมศาสตร์ขอบคุณท่านอธิการบดีท่านคณบดีอาจารย์สุพงศ์อาจารย์มดี Oh, I'm going to switch to English now. And I'm going to go back to the past for a while and explain to you how this project came about. Yes. Okay, so I'll explain how I came to do this project. So I was teaching English, French and German for many years, and I found there was a strange thing, which we were teaching language and culture as two separate things, sometimes two different lessons, sometimes two different modules, sometimes courses. Language are always separated. But I thought this is not natural, because when we learn the first language, we learn the language together. And so I started working with computers in the late 1980s, and I began to wonder if it was possible to use technology so that people do activities combine language and culture. And so for the last 13 years, I've been working with computer scientists at Newcastle University to see whether it's possible to do this. I had 4 grants, and we've produced 2 apps. First app was learning language while you're cooking. 2014. And the one I'm talking about today is the latest one, that's called ENACT. And this means that you can learn a language and while you do activity. So cultural activity, for example, can be carving a Halloween pumpkin while you're learning English. At the weekend in Chiang Mai, people were learning Thai while they were making boi gratin. Okay, so it's possible to do any kind of cultural activity and learn a language at the same time. Singing, dancing. So I'm going to be showing PowerPoint, and we'll also have a look at the website as well. I'll show you how that. So this is called a universal infrastructure for learning languages through activity, ENACT Web App. And it's universal because anybody anywhere in the world put up materials for learning their favorite cultural activity in their own language. And then anybody else in the world can learn that language by using that. That's why it's so the ENACT Web App, this is the website address in case you want to, you can look at the app while you're listening to me. Helps you learn languages through cultural activities around the world. So you can use the activities there. And you can also explain to people how to carry out your favorite activity in your own language. So whatever you like, you can add to. So for example, you can learn Japanese from origami. You can learn English while you're carving a Halloween pumpkin. So it's got we've had 4 generations of digital technology over 30 years. First 3 phases were based on learning languages while cooking, and the 4th phase, that's the current one, has been based on learning languages through any cultural activity. Whatever you like doing in your culture, we can put that in the system. Learn your language. That. So this has been a collaboration between applied linguists, like myself, and computer science experts, and we produced a lab we can use. And this is a European project. The funding is now finished. This is partners in Turkey, Finland, and Spain. And so the app has interfaces for Turkish, don't have for other languages, didn't get the money for that. But maybe one day the United Nations will give us all languages. So now these figures are actually out of date, but we've got 190 cultural activities so far from 26 countries in 22 languages. And we've had over 7,000 users in 101 countries. Let's have a look at the countries. So you can see vast majority of countries in the world, but there's 2 big gaps, Greenland there and Mongolia here. Okay, so we'll have to send somebody to Greenland and Mongolia to get activities on there. Now the app itself then, I guess if you're all interested in language teaching, then you will have guessed already that it's task-based learning and teaching, which is background this. So as I'm sure you all know, the idea is that you're using language to solve a problem, and meaning is primary. You use the language, of course, you learn language at the same time. Now, what we've done has two innovations in terms of class-based learning and teaching. The first is integrating language with culture. The task. So the task is always cultural. Okay. Now, part of the problem, I used to use class-based learning and teaching when I was a teacher, and it was fine. Basically, we were just using paper and talking in the classroom. We weren't actually anything real. You didn't have an end product. Whereas using this app, everybody something. It can be singing and simple. But you've actually an end. And so you're integrating language. The second innovation is taking TBLT out of the classroom. It's okay doing tasks, but it's not actually real world use. So the first three projects we're taking out of the classroom, but now it's in workshop and student, well, wherever you. Oh yeah, what I wanted to mention was I discovered recently that what we've been doing very similar to TikTok. I never realised this before, but it's the same. You can use the activities which are already there, and you can upload your own activities. And in TikTok, what we're doing is a bit, yes, and it lasts longer than. Okay, so we've got a number of activities in a variety of cultures and languages, and the activities are based on food, as they were in the also celebrations, festivals are very useful. And in Thailand you have Thong. Fortunately, I won't be here. And we also have sports, games, and handicrafts and making. Okay, so there are three parts to the ENACT app. There's Learn, that's using the activity there. There's Create, which means you can upload your own activities. And if you want to do that, we've got video tutorials explaining to you how to do this. It's pretty similar to doing TikTok, actually. It's got a very simple interface. You upload photos, text, audio files, and video. Very similar. Get a 15-year-old to help you. They'll do it about 10 minutes. They'll find it very fast. Right. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is stop sharing and we'll have a look at the app itself. So let's. Oh. I've got to go back. Okay. Yes. Great. Okay, so we've got the three interfaces: Learn, Create, and Connect. Connect is like a very small social media, so you can contact the people written it and form want to. It's nothing like Facebook. Very, very, very. Okay, so we're going to have a look at Learn. And here we've got a list of all the cultural activities which are there. And every time I turn it on, there's something new. So this is new. The dance from Turkmenistan. I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know how good it is, but That's for learning to. Right, so we're going to take a look, just for an example, at an activity on Vietnam. Oh, this was done by one of my former PhD students. So this is Tohe, which is an edible toy. This is Tohe on the left here. So you have a stick, and then you have sticky rice and different colours on it. So it's a toy you can play with other children, and make stories, and then you can eat it. Great, great fun. And this one you can see on the right. This is supposed to be Vietnamese. Okay, so the first thing that you do in ENACT then is you have a video which tells you about the cultural activity, what it's used for, part of the festival. So this is part of two in Vietnam. And then before you do the activity itself, you need to learn the vocabulary. Okay, so we're going to what you do is prepare the vocabulary like this. Photos, which you click on it, vocabulary hotspot. Click on the hotspot, and then it gives you the word in written form, and then also a video file.
Tohe.
Oh, hey, hey, that's a bit loud. Sorry. And the same with the other ones.
Bột.
So then the idea is you go through all of the vocabulary and you play it as many times as you want to learn all of the vocabulary. And we normally say no more than 10 vocabulary items for learning. A bit much, and we're going to test vocabulary. There's additional vocabulary as well. So the idea is you get the vocabulary, you get all of the items together before you start learning all of the words. And at that point, then you go on to the activity itself, which is in video form. So here, then you watch the video and you have subtitles. This is 2 layers of subtitles in Vietnamese and in English. You don't have to use titles, or you can put subtitles in language or in 2 languages. This I did to have 2 levels. Also, you can see some of the words are in capital letters and in blue. That's because those are the key words that they want you to learn, and those are the words that can be tested. So you don't have to learn the other. Well, let's see how that.
Đun sôi nước. Nước sôi. Cho nước vào nồi.
Okay, sound wasn't enough. And then, if you're a language teacher, of course, you want to test whether the students learned the vocabulary afterwards. So we've got a variety of test formats. We've got the traditional test format. This is a newer test format. So you drag the word. You can listen to the word if you want.
Tohe.
Sometimes it's loud and sometimes. Right. So I know what that means. So I'll put that drag that there, and then we'll check whether I got that right. Yes, I got it right. Okay. So there's a variety of ways that you can test. There's also a variety of video formats you can use on it as well. There's a variety of vocabulary presentation, vocabulary formats. And then after that, you can make comments. People who've used it, they can make comments about what they have learned and their feedback back on it. We also like them to put photos on showing them doing the app. Okay, so that's the action part. Okay. Oh. And so you can see from the list there, we've got quite a lot from countries. You want to look at any other languages? What language would you like to? Portuguese? Okay, let's have a language. I don't know. So what we're doing now is looking at the languages. So we've got lots of Arabic, Catalan, lots of Chinese, lots of English. No, we haven't got Portuguese. We've got Spanish. We've got lots of Spanish and lots of Turkish. Yeah, we have Turkish partners on. So we have lots of Finland, Spain, and we haven't got Thai activities yet. But I hope after this session, some of you will make Thai activities. My favourites are Loy Butong Festival and in food Dom Yam Goong. Please put Dom Yam on. It's my favourite. So I hope we'll get a little bit of Thai activities. Lots of Turkish. But every time I turn it on, there's a different. Let's back to home. Okay. And create. Create is quite easy to do. Okay, so this is how you create your own activity. Give the activity a name. Select the video type. Normally interactive video. And then you get help here, so you can add a video. So you can make your own video of the activity, but you split it into lots of different videos. And then you upload your video, and then image hotspots. So you can choose how to present vocabulary. So I showed you image hotspots, but you can do traditional vocabulary presentation if you want. For your vocabulary, you need audio file, photograph, and text. Load those as files there, and then you need to show how to do the activity. So you can do that as interactive video or course presentation, and then the same. You just upload the video there, and then the test. That's easy because you've already used vocabulary. You can do matching pairs. There's another type of test which you can use as well, which is a set of image sequencing. So you can do a cognitive test, so it mixes up all the video procedures, and you have to. And then you say what language you're presenting in, what country you come from, and keywords. And you've done it, right? So it's quite easy to right, so I'll stop sharing the video. I'll go back to presentation. Now I need to Yep. Okay, so this is telling you about the health keywords. Go through it. Now, if you're a teacher, you might say, well, that's all very nice, but can you actually learn something using the ENACT app? So we look at learning in a number of ways. First of all, learning culture. Now, at the moment, there are two kind of competing concepts of culture. First of all, the traditional one is that culture is facts and information. So, for example, tartan is a culture, that's fact. You can test fact. However, the newer of culture is that it's a social practice rather than just information that you learn. And so this looks more at how people engage with the foreign culture, how they combine cultures, how they learn something about that way, so not facts. And you can do both of these in ENACT. Ask the question if you want to test knowledge at the end of the test, or you can ask people afterwards to write down how they thought of the foreign culture, how they engaged with it. So we deal with both of those. So here's an example. This guy here is Charben, who lived in Newcastle. He did tartan paper weaving, Scottish activity. Said, I guess I feel closer to Scotland now than I ever felt before. So he came as an asylum seeker, but he's now studying at Edinburgh University, doing a PhD. Okay, so he something about Scotland. And we also did Halloween pumpkin carving. So we invited migrant families in. We also invited Batman in, photograph there. They had a good time making pumpkins and learning about culture. We work a lot with immigrants and asylum seekers in the UK. They say often they'd like to learn about British, they find it difficult to know where to go and what to do. So it's useful. They can learn English. Fine. And we did an activity learning Catalan, the language of Barcelona, in Newcastle. And then we do vocabulary testing in all of our projects. So we do this in Newcastle, Finland, Spain and Turkey, and we gathered a lot of data over 3 years. And in fact, we haven't finished analysing all of the data yet. We have a book coming out in 2 years. We'll have learning data there. This is just from Newcastle learning Catalan. So before we tested them before they started, and they didn't know much Catalan at all. Then after the activity, they got a much higher score in the test. And after 2 weeks, we tested them again, coming down a bit, used their test, but we don't have the final result of the learning there. But what I can say from my own experience using this to learn foreign languages is that I remember the words rather better when I'm doing something hands. Helps me remember things. Also, if you're doing a cooking activity, then you use all of your senses, smell and taste as well. So I remember the phone better than I could in cooking or rather than just online paper. So we've been asking people what they've learned, how they've learned it, and the feedback is they've learned things form and meaning. And we also wanted to find out whether their awareness of other languages changed as a result of doing the activity. There wasn't a lot of change, but there were changes in terms of, they said that increasing, my partner and I have similarities in our. Often people thought we found the other cultural but then we did the activity, some similarity. How to use it teaching. This is for learning English. You want to know how they can use it. Well, it's a great activity to use for homework because most of your students have, some device at home, and you can ask them to try it out. It doesn't need to be an expensive activity. For example, origami you can do with learn Japanese with origami, and then ask them to make it and bring it into class and feel the new language made. Or you can do a project, ask students to upload their favourite book in their own language, and then when they put it on the system, they need to use as well. Lots of them will find it really very easy. And then also taking a training course. The idea for a project assignment is designing your own material on ENACT, try them out with students and evaluate. Then how to create your own cultural activity in your own language. And then in terms of impact, so in the UK, for our research, we have to try and show an impact on the real world outside the university. And so the apps that we produced, they were co-designed with migrants. So there were quite a few migrants in Newcastle, and we work with migrant groups. So we got them in to design the interface for the app with them. This is to ensure that everybody around the world can use the interface. If we'd used British native speakers, then rather. And we also asked the refugees, migrants, can you upload your own activity in your own language, and then tell British people about the country. We also got in local people, Newcastle, who are called Geordies, and we had a Geordie jam recipe there. And this is Lorraine, and she said she was now interested in learning a foreign language. I think that was good. So this was both global and local design. Then, who I mentioned there, is he worked on both projects and now doing very well at university. We're now going into Newcastle primary schools with refugee children, Chinese and so with volunteers. So they have an after-school club for refugees. Does anybody know what this is? The pancake race. Pancake race. You have to run and toss pancakes. time. And the guy on the right is doing better than the guy on the left. Pancake. Pancake Tuesday, very popular. And we've also we got a grant from the Confucius Institute, got 120 Newcastle students to come in, and they learned Chinese calligraphy, and then they took the paper home to them to show to their parents, and then they also learned to make Beijing ice cream and eating. So we've got a contract with Bloomsbury for a book that's called Cultural Tasks for Language Learning. That will be out in 2025, which is 2 years' time. We still have lots of data to analyze, actually. So work on that. We also want to get endangered languages or languages that already got platform. So I've applied for some money so that we can give anybody who uploads a recipe language we haven't got, we can give pounds to. That includes Thai, written Thai. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I get the money, then we can first put those Tom Yum Goong Tom. I'll give £100 if I get them. Also, we're planning to integrate artificial intelligence, next version of ENACT. People upload their own activity, but also to give them feedback on their pronunciation of the language and also writing. As you see, writing is. We've actually only got one writer. Yeah, so this is the project there, and the project has funding has already finished, and unfortunately, since British people decided to leave the European Union, we won't get any more European Union. Okay, so I'll stop sharing there. That comes back. So we've got some time for questions now. How do we do the question? Chat box, okay. So do you want to type in chat box if you've got a question you want to ask me? Yes. Yes, so a very good question. The difference between big culture and small culture, or high culture and everyday culture. Well, basically, we don't classify. Anybody can upload any activity. So if you look on the app, there's things like there's quite a few dancing, singing. It doesn't have to be high culture. So, for example, in Newcastle, there's a Geordie activity. It's the local. It's the story of the lamped ant and worm, so you can anything that you want on. Now in TikTok, I know they've had problems, but they've some people try to be inappropriate on virtual activities. We haven't actually had that problem yet. So in theory, anybody can upload anything they want, but we have a filter on it. If anybody uses that will go. They will remove. But so far, people seem serious about playing. Well, so they seem to have done that serious. We may get a problem. I don't know. One problem we did got at the beginning was some people misunderstood what the site was for. For example, one person, my favourite dancer around the world. You saw lots of dancing, no language learning at all, right? And so that one we made invisible, so we can see nobody else can see. So we, you know, if something without language learning,
Thanks. Some something like very similar to like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then is maybe get familiar with cultures.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, one thing we found from doing this is that people say, "Hey, we've got something like that. Our culture too." So, for example, we did Pancake Tuesday in Newcastle, based on a Christian event, Shrove Tuesday, and the idea was that you have a period when you don't eat anything, 1 month, Easter, but before that you eat lots. It's called Pancake Tuesday, and it's called Mardi Gras, which means fast. It means that you just can't before the fasted. So the Islamic people who, yeah, this is Ramadan. So lots of them didn't know in the UK. Yes, so that's one main purpose of the app is universality overall around the world. Really lots of similarities, and unfortunately, people making they do have. So we try to promote cross learning so that people can see all. They can ask a question by speaking. Well, anybody want to ask a question, spoken question? Any ideas? Do you have any ideas for activities? Any ideas for activities for learning Thai? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shutipa.
How would you like to? Like to leave right away. I have a question. It is of the student you this session, video session.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of reading, and the basic template that we've got is, first of all, you show a video, and the video gives the background. That video, you can produce it yourself, or so you can show a video has to do with reading, and you can show a text if you. The second thing is you need to introduce the vocabulary, and so at that point you can use the as a written text. That's in 2. And after that, you show your video where you do. So you can show a close on video. That's not, and you can also put titles to it, and then in the text, it's the yeah. I'm sure you can find a way to do that in terms. Yeah, before this year we didn't have any writing activities. Weren't quite sure how to do that, but I got my students on writing Chinese calligraphy, and that was very successful. I don't think anybody's done it on reading yet. Actually, you've given me a good idea. So my master's dissertation students next year, I'll get them. Yeah. Idea. Yeah, question in the chat box. Is there any activity that can be adapted to on? Yeah. Yes, let me show you some examples. So the question for everybody is: are there any activities that can be adapted on site? Well, I presume what that means is in a classroom have any technology. Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you some examples. I'm just going to the app. Yeah. Okay, so you should be able to see this on the screen. So in case of some activities, we've produced PDF files which you can print out, designed to be used in the classroom. Don't have the technology. So this one is for Chinese. Find on the news part of the website. Trying to enlarge this. How do I make it bigger? Looks like I made that bigger. Anyway, so what this is then is giving you ideas, so you can print off a recipe card to keep in hand. That is better. Right. So this is a recipe card to show you how to do this activity. It tells directions, the other activity, and we've got that Chinese calligraphy as well, I think. So in case of some of them, they have a printout there to you can take away to you. Any other ideas for activities that might be good to put on there for? About dancing or singing? Would you like dancing and singing? Fine. We'll have a look at some other activities. They are. Anybody like kimchi? Yeah, let's have a look. There's a new Korean activity, kimchi. So first of all, you've got a video.
김치는 우리나라로 봤을 때
Loud, isn't it? Okay. So this gives you background about kimchi and its importance in culture, and then it teaches you the words. Maybe some of you can speak Korean. Is that right? Yeah. So maybe you can tell me the words here. Play.
우측하로 우측하로
And so you can click on these and you can learn the Korean words, all of these. Okay, and then showing you how to do the activity. And then dragging the words. Got that right? Oh, wrong. And then, yeah, you can ask questions. Additional to stir hands. Yes. This hasn't been on for long, so it hasn't got any comments, but you can see, you can add your comments there. That's easy. Yeah. Yeah.
That's random. Then we need to follow.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good. Yes, well, it's a good point. But what we found out in this project is that can learn all of these things at the same time. See, when we started it, what you have to understand is when students are doing this, there's lots of pressure on them, have to learn lots of new things at the same time, because I had a student who was doing this in China for foreigners learning China. First of all, often they've never seen the setup before. They haven't used it. Have to learn how to use it. They work in two, and then usually they've never seen the ingredients. They've never seen these, never cooked the dish, and they've also got completely new words. In spite of this, they were all able to learn the words closely, and they were able to finish. Of course, the quality of varied, who was cooking it, but they were actually able to do all of this. Plus, interaction is difficult because you have to invent your own way of speaking and complete together. And so it's really a lot of students. So we didn't know if they'd be able to learn so you're learning a culture and a language and learn them both at the same. You can also plan your materials depending on what it is. Any other requests for activities that you want to see? You'd like to see? Oh, somebody says they're learning German. Should we see a German activity? Right. If I can find that. German. Yeah. Pumpkin seed rolls or St. Martin's lantern. Okay, try that. I've just got to okay, so St. Martin's Day. I don't know what St. Martin's Day is, so I'll learn something about that. Quite fun. Martin's Day.
Hallo zusammen, mein Name ist Jenny. In dieser Lektion erzählen wir euch, warum am 11. November viele Kinder auf der Straße eine Laterne tragen. An diesem Tage wird deutschlandweit an St. Martin erinnert. Es findet auch noch ein anderes Ereignis statt, aber dazu später noch.
Okay, so you've got your video that gives an introduction activity. Yes, this is video of some, and then we learn some activity.
Schere, Gans,
Right. Now we learn how to do the activity.
schneide ein Stück schwarzen Karton in der Größe 22 x 54 cm zu.
Oh, she's doing it very fast. Right. Another thing is you can ask questions while you're doing that. So at different parts of the video. But, okay. Comments? Yeah, and so if you're a teacher, you can design materials to learn specific points, practice, vocabulary, but it's also pronunciation, focus. My Vietnamese PhD students tried poems, these poems. Well, that's with writing integration. And reading as well. I'll do next year.
There you go. I'd like to thank Professor House for the website for the cultural probably very quite President Professor of House and all the representatives.
Thanks. Right. So I stop there.
So let's see each other again in the future or future seminar and